right, let's get going. Here we go. There we go. Good morning. Welcome back to my stream. And we are currently, hopefully, reaching the end of the editor. Yesterday we did a bunch of different highlighting things, including being able to highlight control characters. That's what this thing is all about. And now we're going to be talking about doing multi-line comments. And I've got a feeling that this is going to be requiring a little bit of a re-architecture in terms of how we implement highlighting. Because right now the highlighting happens all in the row, and I'm thinking that that's the wrong space for it. We have this update syntax function inside our row struct. And what this does is it takes the render string and turns it and creates a highlight string out of it that tells the screen code what colors to highlight everything. And it might make more sense for that to be at a different layer. Because, why? Because these rows don't know about each other. Right? So a multi-line comment is going to require, like, this is multi-line, right? This is going to require this row to know that it's already in a comment. So it needs to see that the previous row is in a comment. Now, I haven't read how they're going to implement it. So maybe what we can do is read over that and see what's going on. We can create a multi-line comment highlight type. So we can at least add that. So ML, let's just call it multi-line comment. Let's just write the whole thing out and then highlight multi-line comment. Come on. And what color are we going with? We're going to look it up, and it's going to be 36, and that's going to be, before I look down below, oh, it's also cyan. Oops, I forgot to do this over here on my chat board. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's also going to be cyan, but apparently you can make them different colors. That's nice. Now we'll add two strings. Right, so we have the comment begin and the comment end, and that's in our syntax code itself. So I'm wondering if maybe in the syntax code, this is where the highlight stuff belongs. And we can call... that's the problem, is we don't know. Again, we don't know how to get access to multiple rows. Here's the thing, right? So we have in row, we have this update syntax function, which is getting pretty big now. And this gets called whenever the syntax changes. Or whenever the render changes, right? Render changes happen whenever we like do append strings or splits or delete characters or insert characters or whatever. And it might be the fact that we just need to assume that those are always going to change. So yeah, but triggering, so here's what I'm thinking is in the editor, whenever we call insert char, right? We can look for that, and that calls insert row or insert char or whatever, depending on what needs to happen. And we have self dirty. Where do we use that? That's just to determine whether or not we're saving, right? So we've made a change and now things happened. Can we use this down here? So this is after we've done some change. So like an insert new line is going to trigger a dirty. Insert char is going to trigger a dirty. We can say if the dirty count has gone up, right? If dirty count increase, re-render rows. Or resyntax rows. Can we do that? And at most it's going to be the current row that the cursor is on, possibly the previous row, right? If we've inserted a new line. All right, let's go back here. Oh no, in the syntax code. And we're going to add in multi-line comment start and multi-line comment end. And those can be nullable as well, right? Multi-line comment start, option string, and multi-line comment end, option string. Right, and that's going to be for C is going to be for that, and actually most. Multi-line comment end, and this is going to be star slash star and then star slash. Right. Now let's open up editor update syntax, and we can actually do this, but it's not gonna work yet because. Right, you know, all we're doing is extracting the data and saying, what do we have? And we can take a look at that in rows. Oh, I thought I had this, yes, I do. Right, and then we can have MCS and MCE. Right, we can set these. I'm going to put underscores so it doesn't complain. Save all of that and see that should build. Yeah, it's not being used anywhere, but that's okay. And now we got to figure out how we're going to actually use these things. Now for the highlighting code, we weren't worried about multiple lines just yet. Okay, so we can at least do that, right? If we're in a comment, oh, so we have a in comment as well as this in string thing here, right? If MCS len and MCE len and is not in a string, then if we're in a comment, we do that. Okay, and this happens right after this. Oh, wait a minute. In comment is 0 or 1. Okay, so that's just a Boolean. Okay, because I saw that in string is actually a character, right? Yeah, so that's an option character. So after we check this, we're going to say, right, that's this code here is this here. So we can say if MCS is sum, right? And MCE is sum, and in string is none. Okay, so that's those three ifs. Then we're going to say if we're in a comment, and that's going to be a bool. So we can just make it false. It doesn't have to be anything other than true or false. In comment, then we're going to set it to we set the row to the comment character, or comment highlight rather. Highlight multi-line comment. Right, and then we're going to check to see if the end is not equal to the end. And we're going to use the same thing here. So maybe this would be a good thing to have as a helper function. Self render len minus I is greater than or equal to I can just do that. Oh, I have to say if let sum. That's annoying. If let sum MCE equals MCE. Extract it that way. Let len equals MCE len. Self render len minus I, and then self render I dot I plus len equal to MCE. Right? Then we're going to memset from multi-line comment up to len, and then increment by len, and then we're done with the multi-line comment. Right, that makes sense. So that's this for loop for I in I. But we only want to go up to the I plus len. J is equal to highlight multi-line comment. And then we want to set in comment is false, prev sep is true, and continue. And that's going to continue the while, because that's the first thing that we see when we pop up. Okay, good. Else, right? So this is saying if this is equal to this, else otherwise we're going to increment I and continue. We don't need to increment I. Oh, we do need to increment I here. We do need to increment it by MCE len, which is where you say row iter nth len, and we did len minus 2 last time, right? Where did we do that? We had to make it minus 2 to skip the keyword, because we've already skipped 1 by the time we get here, and we're going to skip another one here. So that's the one here, and there's the one there. So let's find out what happens. Else continue. I guess we could save ourselves a layer of indentation by flipping this around, right? I can say this. If it's less than len, then continue. Otherwise we can do all this stuff. right? Right, and then else if we found a start, can we go else if let sum MCS equals MCS, right? And we can say if self render dot len minus I is greater than or equal to len, and self render I to I plus len is MCS. We can check the start. Then for j in I to I plus len, we're going to set these as a highlight. Multi-line comment. We're going to skip over row iter nth len minus 2. Just, I wonder if nth of 0 works, because that's going to be 0. All right, in comment is true, and then we're going to continue. Oops, I messed this up. There should be 2 dots there. And what else is messed up? Let's find out. We got the semicolon there. Okay. That looks a little bit better. Len. Oh, I forgot to grab the len. Let len equals MCS dot len. Okay, it built. We can now check to see if multi-line comments work on a single line. Let's see. So we can go here. This is a multi-line comment, and it doesn't work. So I messed something up. So what we should be doing here is if we're, oh, this is only if we're in a comment. I messed this up here. This should go like this. Oops. And then this should go like this. Right? If we're in a comment, then we do the in comment stuff. If we're not in a comment, then we check to see if we started a comment. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's try again. It should highlight as soon as I hit the star, and it does. And this, ooh, and then it panicked. All right, line 188. Oh, so I can't flip it completely. That's annoying. All right. I guess we don't save ourselves a level of indirection here. So this goes here, and else continue. Right? And if we're going to do else continue, we can just put the continue here and get rid of the else. Yeah. Okay, let's try again. Okay, sorry. Okay, this is a multi-line comment. Star slash this is not. Look at that. Okay, it works. And if we don't do it at the beginning of the line, it should work as well, right? So up here, beginning. Okay. So this part's working just on a single line. And then, like I said, I think we're going to need some pain here in order to get multi-line comments working. All right, so let's see. First, we add an in-comment Boolean variable to keep track of whether we're currently inside a multi-line comment. This variable isn't used for single-line comments. Moving down into the while loop, we require both MCE and MCS to be non-null strings of length greater than 0 in order to turn on multi-line comment highlighting. We also check to make sure we're not in a string, because having a /* inside a string doesn't start a comment in most languages. Right, so if I say char who equals this is a string, right? So that correctly works. If we're currently in a multi-line comment, then we can safely highlight the current character with this Then we can check to see if we're at the end of a multi-line comment using string compare with MCE. So that's what I'm doing here. If we're not at the end of a comment, we simply consume the current character which we already highlighted. Can Rust, so I'm doing this for loop. I was just thinking maybe Rust's vec has a way, Rust vec set mute multiple in a row. Can I do that? I don't want multiple mutable borrows. Change. I don't see anything here. Change range. There we go. I just have to get the right syntax for Google to tell me. I ended up doing a loop, right? Is there a better way to do it, though? No, I don't see it. Efficiently insert or replace multiple elements in the middle. Vec splice is available and allows inserting at any point. But I don't want to splice it in. I want to modify. There's no appropriate method in vec, but we can always implement the same thing ourselves. Push all at. Shuffle, iterators concat, and this is a -2 answer. How do I get replace a value? How do I take a range of vec without allocations and produce a new vec? You can't. You need a new, oh, you want a vec that overlaps another vec? That doesn't sound good. Rust fill vector with range. I don't want to fill it. I want to modify it without writing a loop. Okay, I guess there is no, or at least nothing I can see right away. All right, so we understand what this is doing. It's checking the beginning string, and if it's the beginning string, it starts the comment and sets the fact we're in a comment. And then if we're in a comment, we check to see if we're in the ending string, and if we are, we clear the comment flag. That all makes sense. Let's fix a bit of complication that multi-line comments add. Single-line comments should not be recognized inside multi-line comments. Mixapic says, so a vector in Rust is more like a vector in mathematics? Well, I mean, it can be used that way, but a vector in Rust is really a range of memory that's all initialized the same way, and then it has wrapper information around it. I wonder if I could pop into the code. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so it has the buffer, which is just a range of memory which contains all of the same element type. And then a len, which is how big is the memory. We also have capacity. I'm surprised that's not part of that. Right, because how much memory is allocated versus how much memory is used. That's the len versus the capacity. Oh, are vecs fixed size? No, vecs are not fixed size. You can push to the end of a vec. And there's also a vec vec DQ or vec dec, if you're French, which can push on the front or onto the back. So they're not fixed size, no. All right. So this is the complication. Multi-line comments should not. All right. So we can't actually test that yet because single-line comments should not start being recognized inside multi-line comments. That's true, but I can't test that because we can't do multi-line comments yet. So we can add this code in here. For the single line comment. This is a single line comment, so we just have to say dot in comment. That's easy enough to add, but we can't test it. Mixapic says, so do you want a slice of a vector or a larger vector? I'm trying to understand that Google query. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I am setting from I to self-render len. in this case, or from I to I plus line in this case, these values in HL, in my HL vector. And I just want to be able to say, apparently I can't type anymore? What's going on? Where's my cursor? Oh, it's running cargo check. Oops. I hit Control C. Let's quit out of that. I don't know what was going on. I think they were blocking each other in this deadlock. Okay. So what I want to be able to say is self.hl.set range from from I to self render len highlight comment, like that, and then skip this whole for loop. That's what I want to try doing. Or if you could do like self HL and then a range. And that would set all of them at once. Like a slice assignment. Yeah. I don't know. I can try that. Yeah, I looked at that before, but it was that how to assign slices while iterating over a vec. How can I change fields of an element? How can I get a slice? I know how to get a slice, so I can just loop over the slice, but I want to be able to... Whoa! What just happened there? Set them all at once. Okay. But for now, this is working. So let's leave that alone. Alright, so that's that. Now let's work on highlighting multi-line comments that actually span over multiple lines. To do this, we need to know if the previous line is part of an enclosed multi-line comment. Right. Let's add an HL open comment Boolean variable to the eRow struct. Let's also add an IDX integer variable so that each eRow knows its own index within the file. That will allow each row to examine the previous row's HL open comment value. Okay, so that's going to be a problem, right? Because the row has no way of accessing previous rows. Let's see, make sure this is all working out. Oh, it's still blocking on this thing here. I'm not sure what's going on. On package cache. Oh, something else is going on here. If I do this, blocking, waiting for file. I must have messed up something. Look. Is there another process running? PS. Rust. No, I don't see any Rust code running. Is there like analyzer working? No. Is there another Vim running? There is another Vim, but it's from May 26th, and it must be a different workspace. Over here? No? I'm confused now. So I can't run my... Oh, there we go. It just took a while. Oh, I forgot to undo that change. Oops. Set range. There we go. Now it works. I just needed to wait it out. Yes, I want to set them all to the same value. So I want a range of highlight comments, right? Because what we're doing is we're setting for each character on this line, we're setting what color it should be. And if we see this start here, we want to set all the characters in that range to cyan. And in fact, if I do / whatever, as soon as we see / then we know we want to set the rest of the line to those values. Yeah, standard memset. I don't want to go there because that's what they're doing, right? Memset. Rust vac memset. It's equivalent of safe memset for slices. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see this. That would be perfect. Oh, okay, now I have to write assembly? No thanks. Yeah, and then we could just write a fill thing that does it for ourselves, a filtrate. As of Rust 150, slice fill is now stable. Wait, really? Are you kidding me? That's exactly what I want. Self HL I to self render len dot fill with highlight comment. Woo! Mix a pick. Thank you for the hint to Google that. Okay, so let's see if this works now. And then we can do the same thing here. J to, oh sorry, this goes from I to J, I plus len. Get rid of that. And the same thing here. Right, unindent those. Do I have any more for loops here? That's just matching the keywords. This is matching the highlight. Oh, this is what we want. Self HL of I to I plus klen dot fill with this. No, doesn't like what I did. Oh, this goes here, and this comes away. Right? There we go. Does this do the trick? Nope. Oh. Expected slice. We found enum highlight. Oh, right, I have to say fill. Duh. There we go. Rubber ducking. I'm not familiar with that term, but if it means you've helped me indirectly, that's awesome. All right, so this is a comment, and this is not, but this is. Wow, look at that. And the keywords are all lighting up and everything. It's amazing what you can do with the right words / characters. Yeah, no, I appreciate the help. Thank you. So this was good. I learned something new, and I didn't even have to use the unsafe mem set. That was as of Rust, what was it, 1.50? And I'm on like 60 or something like that. Rust, let's see. 158. Haven't quite upgraded yet. Yeah. Okay, so we got that, but now we have this issue, right, that we have to solve that I don't know how to solve just yet, so I'm going to try to solve it on the fly. And that is, oh, let's commit these changes. Git status, git commit source, git. Oops. I forgot to do an add, and I messed up something somewhere. And I gotta set my editor to NeoVim. I gotta fix my Vim so it doesn't blow up whenever I do this. Need NVim 0.5 or above to get better at Vim? Really? That's rude. Git status. So the reason the commit failed is that I didn't add anything yet, but why was it popping me into Vim? LSP config. I'm very confused. Okay. Git add source. Git status. Git commit -m started work on multi-line comment syntax highlighting. See if this works. Okay, that works. And it didn't blow up on me. All right, so we need to be able to figure out in our editor, oops, there it is. Whenever we insert a character or insert a string or sorry, a line, so character or line, or if we delete a character or delete a line, we need to re-render the line we're on. And I'm still leaning towards that dirty check, right? If we dirtied the document, then we want to start on the current. You can't have modified the line above, right? the current cursor? Yeah. Yeah, so if you delete the first character of a line, then it moves the cursor up. So we can start on the current cursor, right? So if I come down here and I delete, like if I hit backspace here, it pops the U's here, and then we just need to re-highlight this line. And we actually only need to start highlighting from this point on, right? And we need to know if the previous line, if there is one, right? Because there might not be a previous line if we're at the first line of the file, has a multi-line comment set. And then when we call update syntax, so maybe let's try refactoring things that way. Let's start by checking the dirty flag, right? So we can just say let prep dirty, self dirty, and then at the end of the if statement, self die, unable to read from keyboard, we can say if prep dirty plus in self dirty. Then we're going to render this row and possibly all remaining rows, right? Because if I do this right here, if I hit like that, it should, all these rows now need to be switched to be inside a comment. Let's see what they're going to do. So we have an open comment here. We initialize IDX to the rows indexed in the file at the time it's inserted. Let's make sure to update IDX of each row whenever row is inserted or removed from the file. Right? So whenever you insert or remove a row, you're going to have to increment or decrement right here each row's index. The for loops update the index of each row that was displaced by the insert or delete operation. Now for the final step. Right, and this is saying if we're at the second line or more and the previous line started to comment, then we're currently in a comment. But yes, and then we have to say, oh, if we changed the line, HL open comment is not equal to in comment, right? And then we set it that we're in a comment, and then if it changed, then we have to update all remaining rows. Or, oh, I see. Only if it changed. That makes sense. We still have to go through. Mixapic says, "Oh, this is not a trivial task, I imagine." Yeah, but we should be able to get it, right? So if our previous dirty is less than self dirty, then we're going to say self row of cursor y as usize, update syntax, and then we're going to have to grab the previous row's comment status and pass that in. Prev row status. Mixapic says, "I know Notepad++ has had issues with this before, at least in some user-defined language, perhaps." Yeah, I've never used Notepad++, but I can imagine bugs in this area because I'm about to add a whole bunch of bugs, I bet. Watch me add bugs. Okay, row. So in update syntax, we pass in the syntax, right? But now we're going to pass in the previous row status. So what it means is we're not going to call update syntax anywhere in this file, which means we don't need to pass in the syntax. Editor syntax. So it's going to be passed in here, but not here, or here. Oops, capital F. Yeah, okay, so that's that. So we're going to pass in the syntax, and that means we don't need to pass it in here. Right, insert char. So we don't need to grab all the syntax in it. Well, that cleans things up a little bit, right? And del char doesn't need to do that. At least we still have that function to make it easy to look up the syntax data. Right, so there's a pen string. Syntax data, I guess we can look for that. Okay, syntax data. Is that select syntax highlight? I guess. Ooh. Okay, and then what update syntax can do is return whether or not it's in multi-line comment, right? So we can just say returns true if we're in the middle of a multi-line comment. And that way we can say let mut in multi-line comment is false. We can pass in the syntax data and in multi-line comment and just set that. Right? And that way you can just loop through and remember all of that. Let's see what blows up. Render row syntax. We don't have a syntax. So we're just going to render row. It's all of these guys. Oh, pre-froze status. Right, so we need to get that. So we also need to call get syntax. Okay, so we're now at the point where we can start this. We can use the same code actually, right? In multi-line. Oops. So what we can do, here's what I'm thinking, is that this code can just be a function, this loop. And that way we can call it from both places, right? Function update remaining lines. Itself. And it's going to take in multi-line comment. Cool. Let's call it in comment here because we're going to modify it. Right? Let mut. I don't want to type that in anymore. In comment. Right? And then this goes like this. And then here we just call self update remaining lines. False, because we're going to start from the beginning. Oh, we have to tell it where to start from. And this R is oops. Okay, so now I've forgotten what that looks like. Git diff. There's got to be a this thing here. I deleted that by accident. So this is doing all the rows. Oh no, it's right here. Okay, this is doing all the rows. We want to start at a specific spot for update remaining lines. We're going to say start is usize. And so I should be able to say self rows start. Can I do that in Rust? Dot dot and leave the end of the range open. There's 7 errors. Oh, did I mess something up badly here? Oh yeah, all these need to be returned. Right, this needs to be in multi-line comment. Oh, I see. It's just called. Well, let's just call this ML comment. Cool. And this is just return if an ML comment. And then what's the next error? Mismatched types. don't understand that. Where's the mismatch type? But we do need to return. We have to do this business here. Oh, okay. So we can actually add that to the row, right? Open comment bool, and that means we need to set it to false. Open comment false, right? And then here we're going to say let changed is equal to self open comment is not equal to in comment. And then self open comment is equal to in comment. If it's changed, then we're going to just return changed like that. Now, what's this mismatch type business? Oh. Rows push syntax data. Oh yeah, and then we're going to, so this is when we're loading the file. We're going to have to update the syntax starting from the beginning. So we need the row. Wait a minute. Oh, we don't pass in syntax data. That's what the problem is. Right. And there's this one. No field row. Oh, rows. And update remaining lines takes that, and it also takes the start. So we'll do start there. And then this update syntax takes, oh, I reverse these. Like that. Okay, let's see what happens. So we're down to 2 errors. There's this one and this one. Update syntax. Oh, update syntax in multi-line comment plus, what does it take? The editor syntax. Okay. So that's where, let's split one more time. We're going to grab the syntax data here and we'll pass it in. And the previous row state is going to be if, this is where we do this business here. If self cursor y is greater than 0 and self rows of self cursor y minus 1 as usize dot open comment, and that's what this is, right? Oops. Let previous row status is equal to this. And then we're going to call update syntax, but actually what we want to do is call update remaining lines from the current row. Right? Okay, so let's do that. So we want to say self update remaining lines from self cursor dot y as usize and previous row status, and let that code handle the syntax issue. Status open comment. Oh, it's private. Okay. All right, so what are the warnings? Oh, help remove. Okay, we don't need to put a change in there. And then syntax data we don't need here. Oh, in editor. Yeah, editor line 77. Oh, no. Yeah, editor 77. Oh yeah, we're not using that anywhere. Does that mean we're not using that? No, we're defining that there. Okay, so that gets used, but the other one does not. Okay, and then in row, oops, didn't want to do that. I wanted to go here. In row, line 271, we just say changed. All right, does this even work? Let's find out. So if I do this, and it dies right away. Okay, so I didn't see what the error message was before we died. But it must be something I just recently changed. I mean, not recently, changed here at the end of the editor keyboard loop, right? Did this fail here? Okay, well, let's see what the error message was. Well, I'm not going to see it that way. I'll see it if I do this, though. Script, record, cargo run t.c, and then exit. And now we can see what the error was. Here it is, 276 in a row. Okay, maybe we need a full backtrace. Range n index 20 is out of range for slice of length 0. Where do we call it or highlight? Is that in screen? Range n index 20 out of range for slice length 0. What did I mess up? I didn't think I messed things up that badly. All right, let's see what the backtrace is. So start the script again. Rust backtrace equals 1, cargo run t.c. Boom. Exit, and then take a look at that. Okay. Editor refresh screen, editor start. Oh, is it because we never set the highlight? Oh, that's right. So in editor start, I even said that. I said before we do this, before we call refresh screen, we're going to have to make sure that the editor's highlights are all set up. Right, and before this was doing, whenever we pushed a new row or create a new row, it would set the highlights for us. Now what we need to do is wait until after we've built the whole thing. And, okay, so we're going to say let ed equals this, right? And then okay ed. And before we turn OK ed, we're going to say ed update remaining rows, did I call it? From 0 to, and then we have to pass in false, right? I think that's the, no, that's not the name of the function. Update remaining lines. Help considering this to be mutable, yep. There we go. Okay, so let's see if this works. Oops, let's quit. I don't want to script it this time. This time I'll just try it here. All right, so now if I hit /star, it completely fails to comment everything. So we messed up somewhere determining if we're in a comment. Because we are. Oh, no, that's right. That's right. Yeah, update remaining lines checks to see if the current line. I mean, it's showing the highlight there, right? Oh, look at that. That's really bad. Because every time I type, it's updating all the lines. But it should only, yeah, moving. So moving is normal. But if I type a character, it's slow. Space star slash. So it's doing something wrong here, right? And it's not even working. Oh, we're calling, yeah, we call get syntax data, and then we loop through all the remaining rows. We call update syntax with the syntax data. Oh, I see. We want to actually return whether or not it changed. But that's not this bug. This bug is that we're not passing in the next multi-line comment value correctly. Right? So let's take a look at this first. Let's fix that first, and then we can fix the other issue. So what's happening is, let's look here how they're handling it here. So they're just saying in comment, right? They're just reusing that in comment thing. What we want to do is check to see if the this shows that the comment has changed. This changes the open comment. I wonder if what we should do is just, yeah, so we can actually get the previous comment each time, and this will just say if it's changed, and if it, as soon as it returns false, then we know we're done. But why isn't it? Oh, you know why? Because I'm not doing anything with ML comment here, right? It's being returned, but we should be passing it in here to say whether we're in a comment, ML comment. Okay, so that's that. Let's see if that does the trick. So, yeah. Ooh, look at that. There's something wrong. Yeah. Oh, and that's because changes. Okay, so that's that other bug. So let's fix that. So right. What we'll do is let changed equals, and if it changed, not changed, break, and we're done. If it has changed, then we're going to set in multi-line comment is equal to r dot open comment, and then we'll keep going. Right? And then when we call this here, oh, that's the beginning. Right, then we're going to start here and then just give it the previous row's open comment value. Okay. Let's see if that works any better. Oh, that failed. Why? What did I change that would have broken it? Okay. Let's use our script trick. Back. Oh, I can't do it here. Rust back trace equals 1 cargo run t.c. Maybe I can save this in my little buffer over here. And exit. All right. And the bug is editor highlight draw rows refresh screen. This is editor start again. Did I, what? Did I delete the code that updates the, oh, right, because, I'm calling update remaining lines. We need to, right, we need to do it regardless of the current state, whether or not it changed. Right. Okay, so maybe we just do it by hand here. Oh, yeah, I deleted the line that gets the syntax data. Okay. This line. I was saying I can't call self.getSyntax data because we're in the code that does the thing. Okay, so, and we can ignore the change r update syntax in comment. Let mute in comment is false. What are we passing in? And then the syntax data. And then we can just say in comment is r dot open comment. Oh, not self rows. Oh, and we've passed rows into here. Add rows. Oh, that's why we cloned it. Okay. That's annoying. Okay. Quit. Cargo run, t.c. Okay, didn't panic. /star. And typing goes a lot faster now. // and it closes. And if I do a // here, it closes there. If I do a multi-line comment here, it doesn't break. I mean a single line. Look at that. Okay, and then what else do we want to test? We want to test, oh, can we open another comment inside here, or inside here, or inside here? And that closes all of them, because these all get ignored. Okay. So I think multi-line comments are working, and we can actually type now at a reasonable rate of speed. And even doing that is pretty quick. I wonder what was taking so long. I figured we were going through everything, but there's only 526 lines in the file. It shouldn't have taken that long. I wonder if we had some sort of n-squared thing going on somewhere. I don't know. Okay, so we have multi-line comments working, and now we're done. Okay, let's commit these changes, and then take a look at the appendices. You'll find some ideas for features you might want to extend the editor with on your own. That would be cool. Let's git status, git add source, git commit -m, final, tutorial, step, multi-line comments working. Git push. All right, so that's that. Oh wow. Okay, it must have refreshed by itself. Okay. So let's see what we got here in the appendices. How the diffs work. Oh, this is how he made this, or she. I don't know who wrote this. How they made this document. Yeah, there's no info on who they are. What to do if you're stuck? Oh, I didn't get stuck. Where to get help? There's a GitHub repo. Oh, okay. Does it have each step as a separate commit? Oh no, it's got extra. I see. Makes arrow keys when searching. A bunch of check marks. That's an excellent comment. Really? Okay. All right. I don't want to critique that. I don't want to critique the diff. Ideas for features to add on your own. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. If you want to extend Kilo on your own, I suggest trying to actually use Kilo as your text editor for a while. you will very quickly become painfully aware of all sorts of features you're used to having in a text editor but are missing in Kilo. These are features you should try to add. And you should also use Kilo when you work on Kilo. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. If you're still looking for ideas, here's a small list, roughly in order of increasing difficulty. More file types. Oh yeah, we can add. Why don't we add Rust as a file type? Because right now we just have C. Editor syntax, right? So we have this for C. Can I do a comment here? C/C++. And then we can add, after that, comma. I wonder why this is indented there. Right, this is the closing for the vec. And now we want to add another editor syntax here, Rust. Yeah, something's messed up with this formatting. Editor syntax. Maybe it's because I put a new line here. It doesn't like that. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're going to start with file type. It's going to be Rust. String. I'm going to make this C. It's not C++ because we're missing we're missing a bunch of different keywords here. So let me take that out. String. Okay, that's the file type, and then file match is going to be a vec bang of just rs, right? And then single. All these are going to be the same. Right? And then we have keywords, which we need a list of Rust keywords. That should be easy to find, right? List of Rust keywords. Strict, reserved, and weak. So these are Lexer. Calling keywords were added at the beginning of 2018, async await and din. We have reserved keywords. These keywords aren't used yet, but they're reserved for future use. They have the same restrictions as strict keywords. The reasoning behind this is to make current programs forward compatible with future versions of Rust by forbidding them to use these keywords. That's interesting. So we can extend our highlighter to make those red, maybe. Following keywords are reserved beginning of 2018. Let's try. And then we have weak keywords. These keywords have special meaning only in certain contexts. For example, it's possible to declare a variable or method with the name union. Union is declare union, only is keyword when used in a union declaration. Static is used for static lifetime and cannot be used as generic lifetime parameter or loop label. 2015, din is a keyword when used in the type position followed by a path that does not start with : : Okay. Well, let's take the simple approach and take all of these. I don't want to type them in, but I don't want to have to. Okay. Let's take all of these. Oops, that should be like that. And then here, let's paste this garbage in. And then from here, oh no. Can I do like this? Nope, I can't. Okay, so what we can do is all of these. That's interesting. So we have, in this we have purple words, we have yellows, we have greens, and we have blues. And I'm not sure what, so let's do this. So we can just say, change this to be tab, 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 quote, and then how do we grab the end of every line to your string? I don't want to have to do this, but I guess I'm gonna. There. So these are all the keywords for this, and then we added async, await, and dim. Okay. BC dim. There. Okay. So let's see if we can open a Rust file now. Is that enough? Did I do it all? I did not. Oh, darn it. These are all keyword basic versus keyword type. Yeah, we don't have types in here, right? So all of our types are missing. Keyword basic. This is not what I was hoping to be able to do, but at least this does the trick. There. Okay, so it's not showing, so these are reserved keywords, but it's not showing any of the type parameters. Right, I was expecting to see, you know, like all the U's and all the floats, integers and floats, input format, comments, white space, tokens. Yeah, they don't list any of the, oh, here they are. And as a suffix, this counts as a suffix. Ooh, that would complicate our parser a bit, wouldn't it? But we can add these at least as variable. I mean, not variable. What do I call them? Types, right? Let's add those. Okay, so now I'm going to just say keyword type quote and end it with toString, comma. Right, indent those the right way and see if this works. Okay, so now I should be able to pull up copy source main, I guess. Cargo run main. Okay. A lot of yellow. Because we don't actually have types in here. Oops. Quit. One thing we don't have is undo. Also, copy source editor, rs, d.rs. Cargo run, d.rs. All right, so there's the usize. Okay. All right, so our types are showing up. So it's basic. Oh, look at that. It's basic highlighting. Multi-line comments are working. Look at this beautiful code. Yeah, I guess we shouldn't use red for reserved keyword if red is numbers. That's a big file. All right, so it's working cool. That's Rust. So we added Rust. Git add source, git status, git commit. We add Rust syntax highlighting. Oh, I didn't even look to see. Did it show? Did it show? Yeah, it shows Rust here. And if I open up t.c, it should show C. Yep. Okay. All right. That's good. What's the next challenge? Here we are. Line numbers. Display the line number to the left of each line of the file. That's going to be a little more difficult because we need to make sure that the cursor doesn't go there. And then, oops, we need, in our editor, when we say update screen, no, draw screen, screen dot bounds, screen flush, screen clear, draw status bar. Where do we draw the, there's the prompt. Draw rows, that's what it's called. Oh, and then we pass in the array of rows. Okay, so I wonder if we can do it all in here. Right, we can just pretend, quote unquote, that our column 0 is actually column, I don't know, 5 or 6 or whatever we want to indent by in order for the rows to work, the row numbers to work. And we do know the row number, right? Because we have it right here. And the file row in the file is here. Okay. So the first thing we can do as a first cut, right? We can draw the row. This is where we render the row out. We can shift it over by n characters. Let's just hard code right now. For now, we'll hard code the width. Const line number shift line shift a row column shift line number shift. There we go. LNO shift is U size, and we'll make it 5. And then this becomes LNO. Oh, we don't want U size, we want a U16, right? Because this takes a U16. LNO shift. And this is leftmost plus LNO shift. U16. So whenever we do a cursor move to, we need to add the LNO shift to it. And then we have to realize that the row, the column, the width of the screen is shifted in by that amount as well. So how do we calculate n? Here we go. N is a start plus, if it's greater than the width, but it's the width minus LNO shift, right? All right, and then where else do we have move to? Okay. So let's see, does this shift everything over by 5? But it puts a cursor in the wrong spot. Okay, so we have to handle that part too. Plus LNO shift. Is that the only place we do that? Okay. Okay, so that seems to work. Right? If I go to the end of this line, it wraps there, and if I go to the beginning, it wraps there. So we can actually put that there. The only question is for lines that go long. Do we have any long lines here? Yeah, let's make this smaller or narrower. Oh, we don't have an automatic resize. That's something we should add, right? It's something that automatically detects the screen resizing. All right, and now this, if I shift over, right, the thing is that as I move the cursor over, it should shift all these letters to the left. And that's not working. It shifted by 1. Oh, okay, so we have to look for where we do the shift. The status bar can stay the same way. We don't have to worry about the status bar. Maybe we do this, right? The bounds minus LNO shift here. Does that come into play here? It does not. Okay. So the only other thing then is that we need to make sure that as we move the cursor around, oh, maybe that'll do the trick for moving the cursor, because moving the cursor is handled inside the editor. So let's try that again. Oh, I didn't see if it compiled. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go down, and then we're going to go over, and see if this shifts one character at a time. Okay, ready? Arrow. Nope, it didn't work. Okay, so that wasn't the only issue of what we need to do. Let's take a look at our editor, and when we handle move cursor, if we're going right, then we want to check to see cursor Y is less than rows line, right? Find out what the cursor rows. Cursor is left of the given column. Oh, right. Okay. And then, but we need to current row len. Yeah, and then it should say, oops. This says move cursor, but it never actually moves the cursor. Where do we actually queue up the cursor move? Oh, is that when we draw the screen, after we refresh the screen, we have to move the cursor to the correct location? Self row off and self call off. Right? Draw the status bar. Where do we actually put the cursor? How do we set the cursor position? I've forgotten already. Okay, let's take a look at draw rows again on screen. Draw rows only knows about the offset, row offset and column offset. It doesn't know about the cursor position. And we already looked at all these move tos, and that actually moves the cursor. That does a clear. Oh, here's a move to. Yeah, and I added the LNO shift in here. That's all correct, and that's it. Okay, so there's a piece of data I'm missing here. Oops, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to say editor, and I want to look for where we call move to. It's only called in one place at the beginning of the. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. There's a piece I'm missing here where we move the cursor. Okay, let's just follow that logic. Where is this is the prompt code. Okay, here we go. So if I just push the right key, we say move cursor editor right. right? So if we're doing a write, we look to see if the U size is less than row's length. If the cursor Y is less than row's length. If it is, then we're going to get the current row. We're going to see if it's left of right. So can we go to the right? And if so, we increment X by 1. If cursor is above the last row, then we're going to increment Y by 1 and then set X to 0. That's if we're wrapping around, right? So that's this thing here where we're on the last thing, we go right and it goes there. And then it sets cursor X to this. Solve accept, thank you for the follow. All right, so after we call move cursor, all it's doing is setting cursor X and cursor Y, right? We set those. We update the dirty stuff, and then we return OK, false, which is process key press. So process key press then loops around, refreshes the screen. Oh, this is in start. Okay, and then we move to the self cursor position. Okay. So what's And the cursor is moving to the right location, but we need to be able to shift the whole screen. If we move to that location, the column offset needs to increment if we shift around. I haven't tested this in a while, so maybe this is broken overall, but we need to be able to update the column offset if we're too far to the right or too far to the left. We need to update the column offset and row offset. So where do these get updated? Oh, this is in the scroll code. And that's in the first thing we do in refresh screen is call scroll. Okay. We are getting the bounds here. And this is what should be updated here. Bounds X should be updated. So let's take a look at the screen bounds again. Maybe I did something wrong here. Bounds. Oh, yes, I did. I put it on the rows instead of the columns. Okay, so let's try again. Let's go down a page and go here and see if this shifts. I guess I can make the screen even narrower, but that's okay. Yes, that's what we want. Right? If I go left from here, it shifts everything over, and so now we still have this gutter area. Okay. And the gutter area is going to be reserved for the row numbers. And we have the file row here. So what we're going to do is, should they be left justified or right justified? I guess what we can do is make this like maybe a 7. And that gives us a little space between the row number. And we'll just support up to 5 digits or 6 digits of row information. So we can queue that, right? We're going to say the current color is reset. Can we do that? Where's this? This is in a giant else. This does this here. HL iter next. Okay, so before we do all of this, we'll say self standard out, Q, set attribute, reset, because we want just normal row numbers, and we'll say move to 0, comma, where do we do the move in here? Because we have to start. Oh, I see. We queue this to shift the shift and the row, and then we just loop over these. But there's no new line. Print C. Now I'm confused as to how we get to the next line. Okay. Oh, is this just doing one row? Yeah, this is just doing one row. Okay, row. That's how we get to the next line, because I didn't realize. So we don't need to do this anymore, because we can add it here. Right? Move to row, and then we're going to say print Q. This should be a Q. Move row, question mark, Q of print, and then we're going to say format, bang, colon 5, row colon 5, right? Space, space. I guess we don't need the space, space. We'll just do that, do that, do that, question mark, right? Oh, cursor. Move to. Because I forgot to import it as from the cursor. Okay, so let's see if that gives us line numbers. Look at that. Oh, but it's starting from the wrong line number. Oops. Okay. But meanwhile, oh, and it's doing the wrong. Oh, right, because this is the row plus row. This is supposed to be file row. Not this. This one. Okay, let's try again. Look at that. We got line numbers. We got line numbers. Now I can make this wider. I forget what it was before, but there it is. Nice. Okay. So we did line numbers. That's 2 of them. Line numbers. All right, and then soft indent. If you like using spaces instead of tabs, make the tab key insert spaces instead of \T. You may want backspace to remove a tab key's worth of spaces as well. That seems like a user configurable option. I think I'm done with the edits for today, so let's just scan over the remaining ones. Auto indent. When starting a new line, indent it to the same level as the previous line. Okay. We would have to make sure that, yeah. We just, all we do is check to see where the previous line starts having characters and just put it there. Hard wrap lines. Insert a new line in the text when the user is about to type past the end of the screen. Try not to insert a new line where it would split up a word. Soft wrap lines. When a line is longer than the screen width, use multiple lines on the screen to display it instead of horizontal scrolling. Use ncurses. The ncurses library takes care of a lot of the low-level terminal interaction with you and makes your program more portable. Yeah, so we're using cross-term instead of ncurses. But cross-term itself is still kind of raw. The ncurses, what the ncurses library does, and this is something I've played with over the course of my career, is that it will maintain a buffer in memory of what the screen looks like. And then you make changes to a second buffer to say what you want the screen to look like, and then you say go. And it will figure out the least number of escape sequences and characters to emit in order to update the screen to make your buffer look like what the screen looks like. So it's more efficient, because right now what we're doing is every time I type a key here, even up arrow or right, or if I go D, I hit D instead of X, it's redrawing the whole screen. And if you're on a very slow connection, that's painful, especially the fact that, we're going to be doing this with cursor movements, and then we're going to be doing this with escape sequences, and this whole thing happens every time you type a key in this particular instance. Let's grab this again here and reset my terminal, because this is kind of annoying. If I do that, it looks terrible. So let's do reset. There. Okay. What was I saying? Right, so ncurses actually is a lot more convenient, but I don't know, is there an ncurses library for, I don't need this anymore, Rust, I think N stands for new. Very thin wrapper around the ncurses TUI library. So it might be interesting to try to port this to ncurses, but the fact that it's a wrapper instead of an actual library. If you want to save an idiomatic TUI library for elsewhere, if you want a one-to-one port of C to Rust, or you want to crank a TUI out C style in Rust, this will probably do the trick. Cursive. It uses ncurses by default, but other backends are possible. Right, so this is adding a nice rusty layer on top of, ooh, this looks really fancy. Minesweeper. So that might be something interesting to do, is add, instead of using crossterm, is just add this, an ncurses kind of a thing. And it was all my crossterm. I was just trying to see if I restricted it to screen, and I did not. Crossterm, because crossterm provides key events and stuff like that. So, and then we have the result type. Okay. But that would be a good thing to do, and actually help me learn this, whatever this curses library is. Where is it? I've lost it already. API reference. Yeah, so you create a text view, and that would be the editor, and then we probably have another text view for the status bar and stuff like that. Add global callback. Interesting. So we could just add callbacks for all of our like our arrows and our everything. Does it handle the keyboard too, or is this just the output? Because crossterm is a function. Creates a new cursive root using the crossterm backend. Ah, I see. And it could use ncurses. Creates a new cursive root using, and we'd have to add the ncurses backend only. Does the ncurses backend give us that ability to set the mode, the keyboard mode, and stuff like that? Callback sync, logging, events, key, a non-character key on the keyboard. Oh, I see. Character, control character, all character key. Shift, Alt, Alt, Shift, Control, Control, Shift, Control, Alt. And then we get, we can get mouse position too. Interesting. What's this key that's not a... Oh, it's one, yeah, okay, that makes sense. All those guys. All right. So we can set up, so this is an event. It doesn't show you how to use, if no view consumes the event, the global callback table is checked. Oh, I see. So you just set the global callback table and then it calls your closure. Set on post event. Register the callback for ignored events. This is the same as add global callback, can register any event trigger. Pre-event. Event matches a given trigger will not be sent to the view tree and will go into the given callback instead. Oh, okay. Post event. I was going to say pre-event. How would you know that somebody's about to push a key? Before they push the F key, I'm calling you. All right, copy and paste. Give the user a way to select text and then copy the selected text when they press Control C and let them paste copy text when they press Control V. Config file. Have Kilo read a config file, maybe named kilo rc or .config/kilo or something like that, to set options that are currently constants, like tab stop and quit time. Oh, yeah. And then the soft indent could also be part of that, and whether or not to show line numbers could be part of that. Okay, and then modal editing. If you like Vim, make Kilo work more like Vim. That doesn't seem... I mean, we have Vim. There's no reason to re-implement Vim. And multiple buffers. Allow having multiple files open at once and have some way of switching between them. More tutorials like this. Oh, okay. They'll all be available at Snap Token. What have we got so far? Walk you through writing medium-sized software projects from scratch step by step. Oh, these are coming soon. Actually, we don't have a date stamp on this page, so I don't know how long coming soon has been. You can also receive an email. No, thank you. Check out my list of similar tutorials. Use leg to make your own tutorials. Go back to my homepage and find out more about me. I'm Paige. Okay, well, I can email Paige and see if they're still planning on working on the TGC and Lua. It would be neat to write Lua in Rust. I'm sure somebody's already done that, though. All right, and then similar tutorials. Oh, crafting interpreters. I've done that. Writing an OS in Rust. Yes, this is something I wanted to do. This is something I've been looking at. Linux from scratch. And Handmade Hero. Look at that. Full built with source. Look at this font. And the scan lines. That's cute. Oh wow, this is a very big tutorial. All right, at some point I got to get back to my my Rust roguelike. That day is not today. Oh, I just lost it here. Password management. Yeah, right here. Similar tutorials. Rails tutorial, a microblog website, web app. Oh, look at all these. What do we got for Rust? Web app, the OS, that seems to be everywhere, huh? Build a browser engine, write a microservice, too many linked lists. Create a simulation of evolution using a neural network and genetic algorithm and compile the application to WebAssembly. An NES emulator. That sounds like fun. Emulating a CPU in 4 easy steps. Wow. Where's the right arrow? There's no right arrows on this. So we're writing a 6502 emulator. That's for the getting started. Then we have the different memory addressing modes with the X and Y addresses, registers, right? Oh, memwrite U16. That's not 6502. Oh, the address is U16, yeah. Okay. Those are all those. I'll leave it to you to figure out how to get to this point. Oh, nice. Implementing the rest. Because there's a whole bunch of weird ones the 6502 has. PLP, PHP, RTI have to deal with the 2-bit B flag, separate interrupts execution. These are only commands that directly influence the 5th bit of the status register. If you get stuck, you can always look up, oh, the full source code is here. And then running our first game. Oh, here's the first game. Look at that. How do you render something if you're implementing a CPU? How do you map the screen to the, oh, maybe that's what they're talking about. Yeah. Look at that. It's just a simple snake game. So you actually write the CPU in 3 easy steps, and then you write a game. Full CPU emulation. Okay. Enough rambling. I've gone on too long. I need to wrap things up. So that's the end of today. Tomorrow, I guess we will work on... I've also already lost my... Oh, no, I've lost it completely. Oh well, it's gone. Oh, here it is. Okay, yeah, so we're going to do this. We're going to do a couple more of these for the rest of this week, and then at some point I got to get back to my roguelike, and we'll start working on that. Okay, that's the end for today, and I will see you on the next stream, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care.